Your insiders, Chris Johnston, Pierre Lebrun, and Darren Dreger. Gentlemen, Oliver Ekman-Larsson has never been a dirty player in his long NHL career. And did that clean track record perhaps help him avoid a suspension for that hit on Guentzel Monday night, CJ?
Well, it certainly didn't hurt him. The fact he's coming up on 1,000 games, he's never been previously suspended in his career. And this was a hit that the Department of Player Safety felt was on the line. Obviously, they get going through the process of supplemental discipline. There's different opinions behind the scenes, but what they didn't like is they felt he took advantage of Guentzel a little bit in this situation. However, the reason it was only a fine, a $5,000 fine, the second of Ekman-Larsson's career, is the fact that Guentzel was about to make a play on the puck. So they felt it was a little early, but not too early. Should have expected some contact there. And also that the head was not a main point of contact on this hit. It wasn't overly high. And so, yes, it's a slap on the wrist. It's a little bit of, we see you, Oliver. We see what you did there. But it didn't ultimately rise all the way to a suspension for a player that hasn't crossed the line too often in his career.
3 months and change away from best on best hockey. And Pierre, Team Canada's scouting staff leaving no skate unturned in their search?
Yeah, they're scouting and then there's not having a night off. And what we're finding out is that the Canadian management team is taking this pretty darn seriously. Julien Brisebois at the Saturday night game between the Rangers and the Leafs. The next day's on a plane to Winnipeg to catch Penguins and Jets. Jim Nill, Monday night, is at the Lightning Leafs game. Kyle Dubas, Saturday afternoon in Ottawa for Lightning and Senators. And it goes on for Doug Armstrong, Don Sweeney, and Scott Salmon from Hockey Canada. They are taking in a lot of games that don't involve their own NHL teams because they want to get as much of a live feel for the players that are on the bubble, and not just right through December 2nd when they have to announce the rosters, but they plan to keep doing this right through to the February tournament because once they name the team, they want to figure out who plays with whom and how they line up across the lineup. So not an empty night on the NHL calendar for the Team Canada management group.
Well, Hockey Canada, guys, very busy. There's no question about that. Also looking forward to the World Junior Hockey Championship. And the hope is that Canada's junior team will continue to have NHL presence. You've got Jet Luchenko, who's currently with the Philadelphia Flyers. The expectation is that he'll be sent back to the Ontario Hockey League in the Guelph Storm in the very near future. He's a lock to make the team. But beyond that, you look at Zach Benson, the Buffalo Sabres. You look at Macklin Celebrini, first overall by the San Jose Sharks. Hey, Hockey Canada, of course, would love to get those guys in their lineup. But at this point, I think best case is it's unlikely.
Yeah, it's tricky because some guys, once they get to the NHL, as great as the World Juniors are, they don't want to go back. But then again, Celebrini, disappointment last year, maybe a chance to go back and be captain would be interesting if he did. Igor Shesterkin's contract gets all the attention in New York these days. But Pierre, they're trying to get a deal done, an extension with another key part of them.
Yeah, and this is why it's a delicate dance, the New York Rangers and their salary cap beyond this season. It's not just about their MVP goalie. There are other parts, and there have been contract talks going back to before the season between Alexis Lafreniere, his agent, and the New York Rangers, his agent being Olivier Fortier in Montreal. Those talks have not produced an extension. Both sides were kind of motivated to see if they could get it done before the season, but they couldn't. But the door has not been slammed shut on continuing that conversation. I think it will be ongoing. Whether it gets done during the season remains to be seen, but the Rangers obviously view Lafreniere, who's coming off a 2-year bridge deal, as a massively important core piece who they want to sign long-term.
Well, vastly different circumstances, but a player that's waiting patiently for a contract, guys, is Tyler Johnson with the Boston Bruins. He actually was in camp with the Bruins on a tryout agreement. He still remains in Boston. He's skating there and trying to stay in shape. As I mentioned, remaining patient in hopes of getting a contract. And it's a bit of an unusual circumstance for the veteran forward. The Bruins like him. They really did like his camp, but they don't have cap space at this point in time. And so it would have to be maybe someone else going on waivers, a trade to create space, maybe an injury opens an opportunity. But Tyler Johnson's willing to wait it out and is hoping to eventually get a deal here with Boston.
And quickly, one of the great ways the NHL honors the legendary Boreas Salming is with his Courage Award. And we know who's going to get it this year?
Yeah, it's the NHL Alumni Association that presents the award. This will be the second annual, and it is former Edmonton Oilers great Jari Kurri. Has to be a European player, former alumni, or an alumnus, as we know. And in this case, it's Kurri who's being honored.
Almost 1,400 points, 5 cups, trailblazer, and a worthy recipient. Insider Trading.